A warm welcome to my video, and today we're flying on an Airbus A321 with British Airways. Here's a shot of an aircraft on the ground at Seville, but before we get to Seville, let's go back to Gatwick Airport where we started our journey today. Thanks so much for joining me. Now you'll probably know, but British Airways uses the South Terminal at London's Gatwick Airport. Interestingly, they did used to use the North Terminal and pretty much dominated it until a few years back. Anyways, here we are heading into the terminal. It's a bit of a walk, but once you're in the terminal, you make a left and you head towards the British Airways check-in areas. So I'm headed for Seville today, and here is our jet, this 19-year-old Airbus A321. And once again, thanks for following my videos, and for those that already subscribe, I'm really grateful. If you fancy seeing more of my stuff, then do subscribe as well. Thanks so much in advance. British Airways is located in Zone C at Gatwick South Terminal. You'll see some automated machines on your left, and luckily I got status, so I was able to use the club check-in at Gatwick, which is actually very, very nice indeed. Check-in was a breeze, and thankfully, due to my silver status with British Airways Executive Club, I was able to also get some time in the lounge. Here's the lounge at Gatwick. I have to say, probably a better lounge than anything that they've got available at Heathrow Airport. It never feels quite so busy, and just look at these amazing views of the apron. Just superb. I was glad of lounge access as we picked up a 2.5 hour delay on our way out to Seville, so it was good to have somewhere to sit, eat and drink whilst we waited. Soon it was time to board. I don't know about you, but there's something about a delay that means people are even more anxious and determined to board the aircraft the moment that boarding is announced. I boarded as part of Group 2, and that was as a broader part of Group 0, 1, 2 and 3 all boarding together. And yes, I did say Group 0. That's the new group that's been put into place for very, very frequent flyers. As I mentioned before, a lot of people seem to be priority boarding in groups 1, 2 and 3. Well, here's the reason. There was a huge Club Europe cabin on the aircraft today. Now, for those that don't know, Club Europe is the intra-Europe business class offering of British Airways. It's essentially an economy seat, but with the middle seat left free, as you can see here. I'm not entirely convinced it's always particularly good value, not least as you're in the same seat and have likely the same legroom as everybody else on the aeroplane. I've done other videos on the Club Europe cabin, so do look out for those. But no, not business class for me today. Today I'm flying economy and I'm in seat 24F. That said, it is an exit seat and quite a unique one at that, as you'll see in just a moment. We had a very happy flight attendant who gave us a very warm welcome, and here's a lovely view of the cabin, and there is 24F. Just look at that legroom. Absolutely astonishing, and possibly the best legroom you'll ever get on any aircraft in Europe. Just look at it, I literally couldn't stretch any further. So the legroom is good, but above the exit row seats you don't get access to your own temperature control. It was available through the rest of the aircraft, but not near the exits it seems. This is actually a shot of my seat on the way home, which was 10F. It's very much the same layout, but just a bit further forward in the aircraft. Here's another shot of me stretching out on my return journey, sporting hopefully a rather nice tan thanks to the amazing Seville September sunshine. Sunshine, well, not really the case when we were at Gatwick though, so here we are, just getting ready to push back in a very typically rainy Britain.
tickets must be placed on the seats in front of you. Thank you.
Soon it was time to push back on this very rainy day at Gatwick Airport. I'm sorry, no windscreen wipers, so the pictures for the short term aren't the best. I do apologise. Do subscribe though if you're up for a few more of these videos. Thanks again for those who already subscribe. I really appreciate it. Now, back in the day when BA used to work through the North Terminal at Gatwick, you would argue they were one of the most dominant carriers here, but just look at the amount of EasyJet aircraft waiting to take off next to us here. EasyJet is easily the most dominant carrier now. Here we are, waiting to take off on a very wet runway at Gatwick. You all know the drill by now, so music and sound goes down as we get ready for takeoff. The aircraft looked pretty full to me. There was the odd seat here and there, but that means there was possibly as many as 218 or so people on board, and yet we still lifted into the air really quickly. I guess we had a fair amount of fuel too, as Seville is 2 hours and 55 minutes from Gatwick. Soon we pushed into some really clear air, as you'll see here, before we made our way up to cruising altitude.
Items may have moved and could run out and cause injury.
We were soon up to cruising altitude and were given brilliant views, particularly as we flew over Spain. If you're sat in an exit row, do bear in mind that your armrests are immovable because they're in front of an exit. Your tray table comes out of the armrest, and as is often the case with British Airways, we were given a little snack and a bottle of water to keep us going on our flight to Seville. The aircraft was Wi-Fi equipped, although I didn't pay for a package on this particular flight. Do remember though, if you are a BA Executive Club member, you get to use Wi-Fi for free for messaging. I think that's a pretty good deal, and I made use of the messaging to connect with a couple of people back home as we were en route. My GoPro and a little bit of a dirty window really doesn't do this view justice, but it was just beautiful as we started our descent into Seville. Just look at that. Seville is often referred to as the frying pan of Europe, largely because it's one of the warmest places in Europe, We already know Gatwick wasn't very nice today, but Seville, a completely different story, and 34 degrees, just beautiful weather for this time of the year. That said, there was a bit more greenery than I expected. Here we are now on our final approach into Seville. Do please like, subscribe and set those notifications if you'd like to see more videos. I particularly like the different colours and contrasts of this shot. Perhaps someone will know what these trees have in them. I'm guessing there might be oranges or olives, but I'm sure there'll be an expert who can tell us exactly what they are. Anyways, here we are, just about to touch down. I'd used Avios for this flight, so it cost me 50p, can you believe? And some Avios, of course. In terms of the delay, that was a little bit disappointing, but these things happen. Aside from that, the seat, the crew, and even the bottle of water and free snack was all appreciated, and it was great to arrive safely as ever. Would I fly British Airways again? Absolutely. They're my go-to airline in most cases, and they always tend to get me to where I need to be when I need to be there. I also appreciate being part of the executive club, as that gives me all sorts of benefits that I wouldn't get with other carriers. As we deplaned, I got some more shots of the normal seating on the aircraft. This is your standard economy seats. And then as we move forward into the aircraft, it soon changed to these Club Europe seats. You'll see they're exactly the same seats, but the middle seat is left free and a tray table put between the two seats. This is dynamic seating too, so BA can change the size of that cabin as they choose. That's why there seem to be sometimes so many people in Club Europe. Anyways, this was actually on my flight back to Gatwick from Seville. I just thought I'd share it because it has to be the most psychedelic coloured air bridge I think I've ever seen. I thought you'd appreciate seeing it because I've never seen anything quite like it, to be honest. Anyways, once again, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you've enjoyed this little adventure with me and look forward to having you along with me again in the very near future. Thanks again.